for those who might be wondering, I am going to be rather busy in the next couple of weeks. I don't generally get back, until late anyway, so it's difficult to record and, edit stuff. But compound that with the fact of these are my final 2 weeks of university, actual semester time, and I have way too much to do to just be doing videos every single day from here. I've got a report draft due in for Friday, which I, really need to get on with. So, yeah, not going to be doing as much as I was, but whatever. So, hey guys, this is gamercal. We're playing, this game, Imperishable Nights or whatever. This is the card which I didn't get to show off during the main run itself. It is a rather brutally unfair one, to be honest, so I'm not that bothered that I didn't get to show it off, but basically these bullets come at different speeds, which is very, very hard to predict, and yeah, I'm actually really lucky I managed to capture that first time, but pretty much those bullets are very difficult to predict. I'm gonna save that actually, because that was great. Yeah, so difficult bullet speed prediction type stuff, and coming from the side is just brutal, but there's very, very few gaps in that card. So, it's a good job it's the last spell, because honestly, that's just crazy. Anyway, the main thing for today is to go into, the other stage which we hadn't done, which is the alternate stage 4. There is, of course, the alternate stage 6, which I'm going to do as well, but stage 4 comes first. Now, originally I was going to use this team here, although I still don't like them. I was going to use the border team just because, if I beat Marisa with Reimu, then, it made sense because I beat Reimu with Marisa. However, Robin had the funny little thing of doing Marisa against Marisa. So this kind of intrigues me, and the fact of I'm one of the few people who does play solo Marisa, this makes it a rather interesting prospect, I seen Punisher off of Outcast forums did a, Magic Team versus Marisa recently, but, to be fair to the guy, he's not really long started, so he's really not that good at it at the moment, and it just wasn't particularly great, I guess. I don't know where I'm going with this, but the point is, I know even though it's hard and it's going to be difficult to do, I know I can do better than what he did, so let's have some real Marisa versus Marisa stuff here. This ought to be pretty interesting, to say the least. Obviously, Marisa's advantages stroke disadvantages come into play as always. The whole familiar exposure thing is a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's just kind of there. It doesn't matter that much in this one, and sometimes it helps a lot more than it hinders, but Marisa's familiar killing power in particular is exceptional for this stage, and really something which is definitely much better to have around, because the teams which fight Marisa don't generally have any real good form of familiar killing, so yeah, nice to have it for a change. Anyway, Marisa's non-spells are definitely the hardest part of the fight for me, and well, this one starts off okay. It's confusing, but it's not too bad, and because Marisa kills the familiars off, it's fine. However, do notice that Marisa up top is respawning familiars every time that she, gets one killed, so whatever. And then she opens up with pretty much her hardest spell card as well. This one is just really freaking crazy. It's, well, the stars from above aren't generally that bad to handle, but the stars coming from the side, stars coming from the side are a real pain in the ass, and that just it's just annoying. Speaking of annoying, this is borderline impossible. It's extremely difficult to get through this without taking a hit, and yeah, just I guess really look for the patterns, and there we go. Whatever, not quite. Event Horizon is a real pain in the ass. This card is nothing normally, however these familiars are fatal to touch, and therefore a solo human like Marisa generally has an extremely hard time with this card. I can't believe I got hit like that. That was pathetic. I am actually embarrassed almost at that, because, to get hit like that is just bad. Anyway, the second half is exactly the same as it was before, so whatever, you know, just second stage bit, I guess. Already got 250 points items in this thing, which is nice. I actually made it through there, I'm impressed, but, you know, bombed it anyway just because I wasn't confident, you know. That's what you do, and yeah, it doesn't always work out. Wow, that was close. Okay, right, well, you know, let's try and do the second half, you know, a bit better than that. Second half is generally easier, however, the non-spells definitely aren't any easier, that's for sure. This one is less dense than all the others, but these stars move in random fashions, and even when you think you're safe, quite a lot of the time you're not, so be very careful with this one. And yep, there we go. Right, okay, so straight into the fight again, and we see Starlight Typhoon. This is Marisa's hard mode rendition of non-directional laser. I really don't see the resemblance anymore, to be honest. I mean, I know the lasers are kind of non-directional down the bottom, but they're not really a threat at all. The biggest threat really is the stars coming from above. You know, they're streaming the stars whilst trying to navigate between the other ones. I know you can do this with the laser, you know, going between the lasers, but I never bothered learning it that way, simply because the stars are not that dangerous and it's really not, you know, too difficult to do it that way. Now, if you aren't using Marisa herself, this is one hell of a nasty, you know, non-spell to do. It's still hella nasty right there, but now Marisa is some catching up in familiar killing, so the rest of it is very, very tame from here. But regardless of that, don't let your guard down with it, because that's when it will kill you in the face, basically. And now, Loving Heart, Double Spark. Yeah, Master Spark in Double Edition. She now has not quite the same sort of thing as Yuka, but she spreads out the spark, so it's a lot harder to handle. My general strategy with this, because Marisa doesn't have any sort of aiming possible, I need to misdirect the laser enough that I can go and stay underneath her straight afterwards, so that's kind of what we're doing here. Obviously the hardest part of this is the stars, not the laser itself, but it's still pretty crazy, and there we go. Nice capture. Now for the final spell card, Light Blast, Shoot the Moon. Shoot the Moon is, I guess, a pun on the game name itself, so kind of cool there. You want to, with a human side, you want to stay a bit higher up the screen, because that way your fire won't collide with the familiars down the bottom, and that obscures your vision. It's very, very simple streaming. I find the normal mode version much harder than this, but just pay attention to where the lasers are angled, because the lasers really are a little bit unclear at times, and yeah, they are a bit different from standard lasers. They will instantly come out once they fire, so yeah. Now for the last spell, Magic Cannon, Final Spark. Final Spark is pretty freaking awesome. It's a gigantic laser which you can aim. It rotates around, and the first time I saw this card, I just laughed so freaking hard. It was amazing. You know, I first saw this one on Lunatic mode as well, so absolutely crazy. But the point is, you've got to misdirect it so that you can then stay under her. The stars actually don't move in a dangerous way at all, or whatever. Basically, the stars you can actually just have as a static pattern type of thing. You know, if you stay in place, the stars will rotate around you. The problem is, of course, the laser rotates, so misdirect it cleanly and don't get killed stupidly like I did there, and it's fine. But, you know, as a last spell, whatever. I've been doing well at that one today, though, so that's slightly irritating, but oh well. Pretty freaking good Marisa fight there, actually. Marisa is definitely harder than Reimu to fight on anything apart from easy, and yeah, I'm happy with that. So, final thing we've got to do is stage 6A, but that has to come later, because I'm kind of hungry at the moment, so need to go and get dinner sorted out, and one stage for this video is perfectly fine. So this has been gamercal, you've been watching Touhou 8's Imperishable Night, and join us next time where we go into stage 6A. You know what, I might as well just solo Marisa this entire game now because of doing this, but yeah, that's just how it's gonna go. See you guys.